sometimes as founders, we're in a hurry to prove success. And the success could be you've just done your part.
When we started, we had no money.
Okay.
We're a funky foundation.
Our goal every year was to work with 100 entrepreneurs, and we failed every single year for the first 3 or 4 years.
You're a founder, but you don't own all of the company.
In any situation, there's never a wrong time to do what is right.
Yeah.
When I established T-shirt film, I had nothing. But I'm doing a quotation of millions. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, fill in the blank to this question. An organization should not scale until it's blank. What would your answer be to that?
Hi, and welcome to Inkonversation, the podcast series of Inkomoko. I'm Sara Leedom, and I usually introduce myself as our co-founder and chief operating officer. And today I'm introducing myself as co-founder and board member as I pass the torch of COO to our new leader, Donald Mavunduse. We're here in the Inkomoko office in Kigali. This is where we started the organization in 2012, and we've now grown to be in 5 countries with 800 staff. And so we're in an exciting moment as an organization as we continue to grow and bring in new leadership for the organization's next stage of growth. So as I start to pass the torch of my role, we thought this would be a great chance for the team to get to know Donald and for us to talk a little bit around Inkomoko, our values, our leadership, and what's coming next for the organization. So thanks for joining us today. And Donald, welcome.
Thank you.
So glad you're here. So glad you're here. We've now been in conversations with each other for a few months as we've gotten to know you in an interview process, and the whole board and leadership team and many staff, just a unanimous endorsement of who you are coming on. So really delighted to have you as Inkomoko's new chief operating officer.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, delighted.
Great.
So Donald, at Inkomoko, leadership is a verb, not a noun, and it's something that we really talk about a lot, of what kind of leaders do we want to be. You've had a varied career working in lots of different social enterprise organizations, from Ripple Effect to Bridges to Prosperity to World Vision to Tier Fund. Tell us a little bit about your professional journey and why you decided to become a new leader at Inkomoko.
Certainly. First, thank you so much, Sarah, for welcoming me, and everyone else has been so kind at Inkomoko.
Glad to hear.
Well, I've had the privilege to work with a number of organizations on significant challenges and opportunities, whether that is in health problems, HIV and AIDS, lack of economic opportunities. And these issues were at such a significant scale that I felt they demanded a leadership that equally thinks big to mesh the significance of those challenges. Just to give you an example, I worked a lot on HIV and AIDS. Sub-Saharan Africa, many countries, 25% of the adult population affected, 1 million orphans in just one country. And also, I've had the opportunity to interact with some of the clients' communities in refugee camps. And one of the things I've noted is that they have quite high aspirations for their future. And I always felt that, as organizations, we also need to think big and to be locked in step with those aspirations.
Yeah. No, I love how you put that the scale of thinking needs to match the scale of the challenge. And
Absolutely.
that if we're thinking big, that's what it's going to take to do things differently to be able to achieve new results. I mean, certainly this year, as we've seen all across the world, aid has changed. The number of displaced people is certainly still increasing through climate issues and violence. So it's going to take some new thinking as the context changes. We can't do what we've always done in the past. So big thinking to meet the big scale of the challenge. Tell us a little bit about your leadership. Where do you get that big thinking from, and why do you want to bring it to Inkomoko?
Yeah, so why Inkomoko? I mean, one of the things that caught my eye is your vision. It's framed in a way where I can see a pathway to dignity. I call it sort of value chain to dignity. At the heart of Inkomoko's mission is about inclusivity, and that is something that I value and I'm precious about.
Yeah.
But what really drew my, or pulled my heartstrings, let me say, are the values. Purpose-driven and wanting to achieve the best for our clients, for refugee communities and the host communities as well. Inkomoko is very brave and working in some of the sort of furthest places, hard to reach places, difficult places, and also in terms of improvement, that it's not just about getting to a certain stage, but that constant improvement is important equally.
Yeah.
Then solutions found here. As an African, for many years, people look at our wonderful subcontinent, sub-Sahara, and they see problems, and Inkomoko sees opportunities and potential. And so seeing an organization that is able to identify and recognize that Africa is not just a place for assistance, but it's a place where solutions are found is precious. So those are all the strings that have drawn me to Inkomoko.
Yeah, I'm really glad you're here. And those are, for you to have started with organizational values, that is something that is so dear to us as an organization. There's a lot of entities that are doing economic development work. There are something like over 300 incubators and accelerators on the continent. So there's a lot of organizations that are doing work investing in business development. But part of what separates Inkomoko is that willingness to work in communities that often are overlooked, and that is really connected to our values, that we're really purpose-driven and that we want to focus on parts of the continent and communities that certainly are overlooked. Donald, I think of you as very Pan-African. You're Zimbabwean, living in Zambia.
In Zambia,
You've worked in many of the countries that we're in already.
Yes.
And you just are reflecting about African solutions to African challenges. What does the team or our larger audience of partners need to know about just your love of figuring things out for this continent?
Well, so the first thing I would say is I've just recognized that what we do on the continent in terms of achieving successes for, let's say, our clients in refugee camps, and who we are equally important. Yeah. And we work in a place of the world where our clients and their communities face a lot of challenges, and one area in particular that I am passionate about is to make sure that communities and our clients feel safe. They feel protected. They are able to go on with their business, with their lives, with their livelihood, free from harm.
Yeah.
I equally feel that in an organization like Inkomoko, that we create and continue to create, we have the enabling environment where people thrive, they feel safe as well. So you find that I've had moments where I've had to really show strong leadership, where the risk to clients and communities are such that it is a problem. And examples include where I've had to step in and, for example, stop a leader from traveling because they have not done the due diligence needed to make sure that they travel in a way that reassures us as an organization that our clients and communities are going to be safe.
Yeah. No, it's so important because, as an organization, there are so many entities that either put in really big, heavy policies that aren't quite fit for purpose, or they have so much infrastructure that things sort of grind to a halt. And part of the ethos at Inkomoko is really trying to balance how do we do things both sort of quick and thorough. right? That we have to never slow down because there's too many people who are waiting for the solutions that we have to offer. So there's not time to wait. There's a sense of urgency. So we got to move and bring the solutions to the communities that we serve. But at the same time, we don't want to skip over pieces and find that we're actually damaging any of the communities that we're working in because we forget to look at safeguarding, because we don't prioritize inclusion, right? So making sure that we're both quick and thorough is really a tension point in operations. So I love knowing that you've also had that experience yourself. I feel like, okay, we've got to make social impact, but we also know that things have to be done in the right way.
Yes, I mean, we have to strike the right balance. But I always say, in any situation, there's never a wrong time to do what is right. And that is sort of how I lead.
Yeah. One of the things that, over my transition out, I've had a chance to go visit different offices around Inkomoko. So I've been traveling and meeting the teams, eating a lot of goat, which is what Inkomoko is all about. We celebrate success and we hold each other up in times we eat goat. And it's been really sweet to actually have the chance to reflect with some of the colleagues. But obviously some people's anxieties can show up of like, oh, change is complicated and we've got new leaders coming in. What does this mean to me? And one of the questions that I've gotten a lot, particularly from young women on the team, is how do we know our new leader is really going to stand up for things that need to be said out loud and to really sort of ask questions or be a voice for values? How do you put your voice out there when there's times that you need to stand up for something that may not be specifically in your direct interest, but that you're an advocate for inclusion or justice for other people?
To speak out and to be direct when such issues happen, and not to do that because of a title that I hold. Is because if that happens in any part of my life where I'm close, I would react in the same way. I just fundamentally feel harassment, discrimination is grossly unfair, and I'm not going to give sort of examples here, but as a leader coming into Inkomoko, I want people to feel that my door is always open to listen and to attend and to address those issues. And there are no sort of small problems or big problems. When there is harassment of whatever scale, I want to know about it and to be able to deal with it. And to be able to say, how do we prevent this from happening again as an organization? And then putting the appropriate systems in place, not to slow us down, but to make sure that we are responding appropriately, making sure that our colleagues feel safe, whether they are in Kigali, in Juba, or they're in Maban.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. So, Donald, you're planning right now on moving to Rwanda, relocating here. Tell me about what you're excited about as you come into a new organization for you, a new city for you, and a new role. Tell me what you're excited about in your next couple months.
Yeah, Kigali is a wonderful place to be, and thank you for driving me around and seeing some of the beautiful places
Started
of
off
Kigali.
on the green track right away.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm looking forward to that. And I've met you in person, a lot of my other colleagues in person as well, and I just felt that even at the start, there is some chemistry there, and looking forward to working with the colleagues and to advance the organization's mission. Yeah,
no, I felt that way. So we've had time with the board and time with the rest of the C-suite, and the conversations have just flowed, and there's good alignment on values, and that was something that was so clear for us when we were getting to know you. We can't bring in a leader unless we're really aligned on values and are just want to work together. So excited about that.
And likewise, I was also looking for an organization that reflects the values that I have and where I have the opportunity to exercise those values.
Yeah, exactly.
There's alignment there.
Exactly. You'll also spend some time traveling around to meet all of our different colleagues, meet clients, to really get a chance to see our impact in person. As you think about coming into your role, and really the COO role will be slightly different than how it was for me as the co-founder. So in your new role, you'll be responsible, of course, for operations, for security, for safeguarding. The IT team will report to you and the digital transformation work that we're doing. As you're coming into 2026 with all of the growth that's happening at Inkomoko, what are some of the things that you're excited to tackle for improvements at Inkomoko or value to our staff and our clients?
Yes, I mean, first thing is just a recognition that, excuse the expression, I feel like I'm standing on shoulders of giants, to be truly honest.
Baby giants.
Real giants. Because I mean, you've really achieved a lot from where you started, and that's something that I take away from the conversation we've had, and from what I'm able to understand at this stage. So I'm going in with that mind. How do we build on the incredible, great work that you have led, Sarah? And then there are opportunities there. Just reflecting on 44 million refugees in sub-Saharan Africa and what it means for Inkomoko. And one of the things I was reflecting on is we are really in a unique place, in the sense that the leading investor of entrepreneurs in displaced communities. And so I sort of feel that there's like a burden on our shoulders to see what does that mean in terms of reaching not only where we are, but more places. And so I'm looking forward to conversations with colleagues who have been longer than me, exercise my experience in terms of what does that mean in terms of our operational model to reach more people? What does it mean in terms of the enabling systems and processes that makes it easier for us to scale in a sustainable way? But fundamentally, I'm looking forward. You mentioned traveling. What I'd love to do is that within the first 3 months from next year, to be able to visit all 5 countries and to have an opportunity to interact with our colleagues who are the furthest from here. And what I'd like to understand is what can I do with my team, working with others to make sure that they have an enabling environment to thrive. So that is foremost in my mind.
I love this. And so we, as we've talked about, we do this happiness audit, and we ask people 3 questions. How do you feel about your current position? How do you feel about the organization? And what's one thing I can do to make you happier? And you're coming into the organization at a time when we have a lot of really rich data of the team feeling like between 97, 94, 98%, depending on your department or your location, really happy about their role and about the organization, which is so important for us, that if our colleagues are feeling good, they're able to then deliver better services to our clients. So there's a real correlation between happiness and success and impact. But I always do these interviews and say, but we're not perfect. So please tell us honestly, what can we do to make you happier? And there's a long, long list. And so I think a very long list. So Donald asked me yesterday, you were like, oh, how do you know if people are telling you the truth? And I'm like, oh, don't worry. There's a long list of things that we can fix. So, so I feel that you are coming in on a lot of success, a lot of joy, a lot of impact that we've made. And also there's still so much more to do. And that's exciting for me to see that we've got new energy and new ideas from you coming in to do that work. So you'll hear it firsthand from all of our colleagues, but there's so much to continue to do.
Sure.
I'm going to let you off the hot seat for a minute. Is there anything that I can answer for you as you're coming into this role to make sure that you're set up for success?
Yeah, I've got one question for you, Sarah, and it may be a personal question if you don't mind.
Sure.
Because you've been on this journey at the very start, also even before the start, because you're thinking about it and planning and getting this organization started to where we are right now.
Yeah.
Now, as you think about transition, I was thinking to my mind, how are you feeling yourself grieving.
Yeah.
Yes, just unpack for me where you are at there.
So it's been an amazing opportunity, and I think perhaps the most compelling work of my life to be able to start and grow Inkomoko with my co-founder Julian and with this amazing team that we have. And we're at this moment, we're at this inflection point as an organization where we've got an amazing track record, we have resources, there's so much more need, and we're at a moment of rapid scale. And I think one of the pieces that's important for me, just in my personal life and also in my work life, is self-awareness, transparency, truth-telling. These are core values of mine. And so looking at what work needs to be done in growing the organization, we need other people who can come in. I mean, as I just said, we need people can come in. And it's bittersweet for me because I am transitioning to the board, so of course I'm going to stay involved. I'm the biggest cheerleader of this organization. I love this organization. I'm gonna miss my colleagues. I'm gonna miss coming in and being with people. But I'm excited for myself personally to explore other things, and I'm excited for the organization to have new, fresh ideas. So I think when the first person I told that I was planning on transitioning out was my co-founder Julian, and she said to me, she was like, "Oh, this is bittersweet," and that has been the phrase that I've just held throughout this entire 6-month transition period. Is it's bittersweet. It's yes and it's both. But this is the nature of growth. Is that things change, and accepting that is just life, and celebrating those changes. And so I'm excited. I truly am excited for what's next to come for myself and for Inkomoko.
Oh, thank you for sharing at that sort of personal level. I appreciate that very much. And because you and Julian have been leading this organization. And in terms of any insights that you may share about any leadership challenges that you've had over the years.
Donald, this podcast is not long enough for all the leadership challenges. I've never run an organization this size before. So this, one of the things that has kept me excited about this work is that I have continued to grow. And I know that you will also continue to grow in this role, because every day is a new surprise. And at every step of the organization, we've had to look at what does this moment require for us in terms of leadership. In the early days, it was about a vision for the future and a belief in doing things out of the normal. When we first started investing in refugees, people kept saying, "Oh, well, you can't do that," and we were like, "Well, why not?" There was no reason why not. It's just that it hadn't been done yet, and so we said, let's break those boundaries and do something new. And then as we continued to build the organization, it was proving the model and the track record. And so that was a different type of leadership strategy that was required, of just some faithfulness to our theory of change and really implementing with excellence. And then as we went at a larger stage where we are now, it's about making sure that we have the systems and scale for growth. And so in this organization, I think any of us who've stayed here for a long time, and we actually have a lot of people who've been with us for 6, 7, 8 years, more than that, to be able to make sure that our thinking never gets stale. Coming back to the very first question I asked you, right? And you said we have to think big to meet the issue of scale, that our thinking never gets stale, and that we can continue to adapt our leadership for that moment. So I think that adaptability is critical, but never losing sight of purpose, and never losing sight of our values, and having that be the North Star, or that core that runs through you, even as the circumstances change, of how your leadership is expressed in that moment. So,
I like how you express, just constantly being purpose-driven, and that is still our North Star. And now, any wisdom, anything that you say, "Hey, Donald, this is my sense of where the organization is at, and if you want some advice, this would be it.
Yeah, okay, what's my advice to Donald coming in? My advice to you would be to fall in love with this team. The colleagues that we have are amazing, and everybody in this organization wants to learn and grow. When we do these happiness audits, that's one of the number one things that comes up is people say they want more opportunities for development and growth. And as you're creating systems, as you're showing up as a leader, if you fall in love with this team, they're going to feel that, and they're going to, one, that will motivate you all the time to do the best for our teams and our clients. But that is going to be the like strength that you have, is just this real deep commitment. And Donald, I see that from you. I see in the questions that you've been asking as you've been getting to know the organization, you've been asking about people and sort of a people first sort of approach, and you've been asking around how can we improve things. And I think that would be my advice to you, is still keep our people first. And we have joked that we have another colleague that when she came on, she asked so many questions, and we called her the chief question officer. And I think that that's also my advice, is be curious. And I see you asking a ton of questions already, and so that curiosity of really understanding not what's the surface, but what's underneath that is going to position you to get to the root cause of where things might be working or not working. And so that as you're creating new systems and solutions from the operations side, that you can always have that root cause of what really isn't working. And I see from all the experience that you've had that that'll also be no problem at all for you, that's just who you are to get to that root cause.
Yes. Well, thank you for that. And I mean, you're going to be, part of our board, and there may be more questions from me to you.
Feel free.
Absolutely. Now from your vantage point, what you see as when you look ahead of our organization, I'd be curious to understand from you, what sort of opportunities do you see for Inkomoko?
And Donald, I think this is a fantastic note for us to end on, right? And you and I are coming together. My role is changing, your role is changing, and we're going to be together for a shared future of Inkomoko. And I think the things that I'm excited about going forward is to look at not just meeting our goals through Vision 2030, which is our current strategic plan, but starting to rethink even how we do this work, and continuing since we started first working with refugees in 2016 and asking why not, right? Why not? Why can't we do this? That as we come into refreshing our new strategic plan and looking not just 2030 but 2040 to ask the question, why not? And what is that big thinking? And so I don't have that full answer yet as we continue to work together collaboratively with our colleagues and our clients and our partners around what that future vision is. But I know that we are not going to take the foot off the gas, that we'll have we'll need to know where we're driving to, we'll need to know how fast we're going, and we need to know that there's gas in the tank to get us there, and that's what I'm looking forward to in the future.
Okay.
And what about you? What are you looking forward to as we come forward to this shared future of the big vision ahead? What's the thing that is, that you're most excited about when you think about impact at Inkomoko?
I think there is a lot of headroom in terms of the impact that we can be part of with our clients. And I've had some exciting conversations with some of the colleagues, as our managing director here, about thinking more innovatively, building on what we have done, and to help our clients. I just go back to that responsibility we have in the space that we have carved for ourselves as the leading investor for refugees. And in my mind, how can we reach 44 million people? So I'll just keep that to myself for at the moment. But I see it an opportunity for an organization not only reaching people, but I've had conversations about changing and creating a more enabling environment, policy-wise, almost an ecosystem of support for refugees.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I'm precious about is making sure that we are part of a change process that lasts. And that is what I wish for Inkomoko, building on what we've done so far.
Yeah. Well, Donald, welcome to the team. Welcome to your new role as the
Thank
COO. And we're really, really excited that you are going to be making lasting change, not just for Inkomoko as an organization, but for the communities that we serve.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this conversation with me and Donald, and listening to all of the Inkomoko Conversation podcasts. As I sign off in my role as COO and pass the torch to Donald, it was so important for me today to welcome you, Donald, and to say farewell to many of my colleagues and partners that I've had the honor of doing this work with. As I said, this has truly been one of the most important things that I could have ever done with my life. And I am really, really grateful for the journey that I've been able to walk on. Over the past weeks, as I've been meeting colleagues, we've eaten a lot of goat together. It's been a steady diet of goat and cake. And it has been a time to celebrate. And I was able to hear from people of stories that I had forgotten, and have a chance to understand ways that Inkomoko has shaped the lives of so many of our colleagues. And it has been the greatest honor for me to be able to do this work in partnership. So closing this podcast with a sincere note of gratitude and appreciation for this journey over almost 14 years. 14 years! And it's been the most important thing of my life. So, Donald, welcome. Take it.
Thank you again.
And looking forward to seeing you all on the flip side as a board member and staying in touch, but signing off here and with so much gratitude.